You're watching IntoWineTV, and today we're at Incanto restaurant in San Francisco. We're tasting Italian island wines, and today we're trying two different Baglio di Pianettos. One is the Ramione, and the other is the Ficiligno.
So Ficiligno is 50% Viognier and 50% Insolia. When I smelt the wine, I thought it was delicious smelling, really attractive, and I find it's very pleasant on the palate too. What do you think?
Wow. Well, you know, a little Sardinia meets Rhone varietal. It's interesting. It's good. What I like about it is that the wine has a very strong mineral content, both on the nose, that follows through on the palate. And what I like about it is I sense that the Viognier does well in this vineyard, at least, in that it's not an overblown ripe style of wine. So you're getting the aromatics of Viognier, but not necessarily the dense, perfumey, like I've worn too much perfume and I walked into a room character to it. So it's interesting. I like it.
Yeah, I think the Viognier does really what it's supposed to here. It brings those aromatics and those white stone fruits, those kind of peachy nectarine notes. But it's interesting because I've never heard of this blend. Never would have thought to blend Insolia and Viognier. Insolia is actually a grape that is, I want to say, native to Sicily, where they use it to produce Marsala. And the great thing about what's happening with grapes like that is that they're being saved. They're not going to become extinct. Being that Marsala production has waned over probably the last 20 or 30 years, producers are finding creative ways to keep these varietals alive and going. And you'll actually find monovarietal bottlings, I should say, of grapes like Ansonica and another grape called Catarato, which they use for Marsala as well. But it's interesting the way the Insolia, or the Ansonica, as they sometimes call it, cuts off the Viognier like just right at the pass. I mean, you get that beautiful stone fruit, and then the Insolia kind of kicks in and brings that minerality and that kind of earthiness and almost a slight sherried note to the wine. And it's well done. I just would have never thought to blend these two grapes together, and I think it's a success, actually.
I could see working with this wine on my list and having it actually do really well, in the sense that you've got Viognier that right now as a seasonal varietal, warm weather varietal anyways, would work really well, and it's recognizable. And then you've got something like Insolia, like people are like, what the hell is that? And the fact that it's from Sicily, it's a fun wine.
And I think it's priced okay. It's under $20, which is where it should be.
Producers like this always really strike me in a curious manner, in the sense that planting Viognier in Sicily is like that's a point of view that I mean, if I was sitting down with the producer, I'd scratch my head and ask that why Viognier? What the hell are you thinking? And so it's good. It's a successful wine.
Well, we haven't even talked about the second.
But the Ramione.
Yeah, the Ramione.
Another interesting combination: Nero d'Avola and Merlot, 50-50.
Comes across as a little bit hot to me.
What kind of strikes me about this wine is, and I don't know if it's the Merlot, what that brings to the table, but I don't get a real rusticity out of this wine like you will get out of Nero d'Avola a lot of the time. To me, that can be a real rustic country-style wine, a little bit rough around the edges, but still enjoyable because you have that nice core of fruit. You have usually some balancing tannin, and it's usually a balanced kind of round package. But the Merlot brings something different to the table.
Makes it more New World.
And it makes it a little more New World, and it makes it a little more refined, I think. Not quite as rustic as it probably could be if it was 100% Nero d'Avola. Which is interesting. So
certainly it's a very clean, well-made.
Clean,
wine.
yeah, and kudos to the winery for blending these two white grapes and these two red grapes together, because I don't know if I've seen a blend like this. Sure, you've probably seen Nero d'Avola. I mean, I've actually seen it blended with a little bit of Merlot, a little bit of Cab, a little bit of Syrah. But to do a 50-50 blend of Merlot and Nero is in this case, just they pull it off once again.
Yeah, I think that there is a strong amount of Bordeaux varietals that are grown in Sicily, working with other producers. It's not uncommon for me. At least it's a trend, anyways, that I've seen that Nero d'Avola has been tempered with Bordeaux varietals. It's a good one.
So it sounds like we have a pretty creative winemaker at Baglio di Pianetto with two very successful choices, the Ficiligno and the Ramione. Definitely want to give those two a try. Thanks so much for joining us this time on IntoWineTV, and we'll see you again.